like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
Okay, wow. You guys really sent us down a rabbit hole this time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a sports article, but it's not really about sports, is it?
Not really, no.
We've got UFC fighter Colby Covington. It's not about his next fight.
Right.
It's about him calling out LeBron James and Diddy.
It's a strange one, for sure.
This is not just sports news. This touches on celebrity culture, social media, even legal stuff. Get ready for some twists.
Definitely a lot to unpack.
Let's dive in and you tell us what catches your eye. So to set the scene, Colby Covington is known for his trash talk.
Oh, yeah.
But this time, he's aiming at LeBron James, a seemingly unrelated figure.
Yeah, you wouldn't think those two would cross paths.
The article explains that Covington's comments stem from a 2022 LeBron James livestream
Okay.
with Sean Diddy Combs, where James casually said, "Ain't no party like a Diddy party."
Interesting. So that's the spark that lit the fire.
Right. It's fascinating how a seemingly offhand remark can become fodder for controversy years later.
It is,
Right.
especially in today's media landscape.
And Covington doesn't hold back. The article highlights some pretty aggressive quotes.
Like what?
He's questioning LeBron's motives, asking things like, what does LeBron mean by that? And how many Diddy parties has he actually attended?
He's playing the game, isn't he?
And then, bam, he takes it up a notch. Straight up calling LeBron a scumbag and saying he hopes LeBron gets locked up in the same cell as Diddy.
Whoa!
So is he genuinely outraged, or is this all calculated to
Calculated.
drum up attention before his next fight?
Well, the article does mention that Covington is coming off a loss against Kamaru Usman.
Right.
And is desperate to reclaim the welterweight title.
So this outburst,
Yeah.
this gets his name in the headlines, even if it's not for fighting.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. And then there's the Diddy connection. The article mentions that Diddy is currently facing legal issues, which adds another layer of complexity to Covington's accusations.
It does. It says that Diddy is facing charges related to assault and battery, as well as allegations of financial impropriety.
So Covington is really trying to paint LeBron with the same brush, implying guilt by association.
It's a classic tactic.
And a powerful one in the age of social media.
Absolutely, where information spreads rapidly and often without context.
Covington even claims that LeBron is deliberately avoiding social media to dodge the backlash from his association with Diddy.
Interesting. So he's using LeBron's silence as a way to further his own narrative.
Exactly, making it seem like LeBron has something to hide.
It puts LeBron in a difficult position, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
If he stays silent, it fuels the speculation.
Right.
But if he responds, he risks giving Covington the attention he craves.
It's a clever move by Covington.
But what do you make of LeBron's social media silence? Is it a deliberate strategy, or is there something more to it?
Well, LeBron has always been very active on social media, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Using it to promote his brand, engage with fans, and even comment on social issues.
Right.
So his sudden silence is definitely noticeable.
Yeah.
It could be a calculated move to starve Covington of attention. It could be something entirely unrelated to this situation. We simply don't know, and that's what makes it so compelling.
It's like a puzzle with missing pieces. But there's one more piece to this puzzle.
What's that?
The article mentions Covington's vocal support for law enforcement,
That's interesting.
which adds another dimension to his criticism of LeBron.
It connects Covington's attack to a larger political and social context.
Absolutely. LeBron has been very outspoken about social justice issues, particularly racial inequality and police brutality.
Right.
So Covington, by associating LeBron with Diddy, who's facing these specific charges, is tapping into pre-existing narratives that seek to discredit and demonize athletes and celebrities who advocate for social change.
It's a powerful strategy that can be very effective.
It's almost like he's trying to frame this as a battle between law and order versus those who challenge the status quo.
And that's a narrative that resonates with a certain segment of the population.
Particularly those who feel threatened by social progress and the changing dynamics of power.
It's a reminder that these seemingly isolated incidents are often connected to larger social and political forces.
It's not just about celebrity gossip. It's about the battle for hearts and minds.
And it highlights the power of social media to amplify those battles, to shape public opinion, and to influence the course of events.
So from a simple comment about parties, we've gone to accusations, legal troubles, and the intersection of sports, celebrity, and social activism.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg, what stands out to you so far. It's really striking how this whole situation speaks to a shift in how athletes are perceived and how they use their platforms. Like, we're moving away from the days where an athlete's job was just to perform, you know?
Right, like on the field or in the octagon in this case.
Exactly. They're not just about winning championships anymore.
It's bigger than that, isn't it?
It is. They're building empires, becoming brands, influencing culture.
Like LeBron. He's a businessman with a massive media company, endorsements, even a tequila brand.
He is, and his social media is a huge part of that.
So Covington is kind of trying to exploit that, right?
It seems so, yeah.
He's trying to use LeBron's image to generate controversy and attention for himself.
I think so. But could it backfire?
Backfire? How do you mean?
Like, does the public even care about this kind of drama anymore?
Oh, I see. You think there's a risk of audience fatigue?
Definitely. We've seen so much of this attention-grabbing stuff.
Yeah, we have.
People are getting wise to it.
So you think there's a limit to how far this can go?
I think so, yeah.
Like a point where this actually hurts an athlete's brand?
Absolutely. There's a fine line between being provocative and being reckless.
And if they cross it?
They can alienate sponsors, fans, even teammates.
Like, think about, insert example of athlete whose career was negatively impacted by controversy.
Oh, yeah, what a mess that was.
Lost endorsement deals faced major backlash.
It's a cautionary tale.
It is. So while Covington might be getting attention now,
Right.
the long-term consequences could be bad.
Especially given how serious his accusations are.
Yeah. He's basically linking LeBron to criminal activity.
Even though Diddy hasn't been convicted of anything.
Right. Which brings up the legal side of things.
The legal side.
Like online speech.
I see.
You know, free speech is protected, but there are limits
Uh-huh.
when it comes to defamation and false accusations.
And those statements can reach millions instantly.
Because of social media.
Yeah. And potentially damage someone's reputation.
So even though Covington might say he's just asking questions, his words could have real consequences.
Definitely. This is something we're seeing more and more these days.
Right.
The lines between public discourse, entertainment, and legal liability are blurring.
It's complicated for sure.
It is both for athletes and the public.
It makes you think about your own social media use, doesn't it?
It does.
Like, how do we balance authenticity with self-promotion? And when does speaking your mind become harmful?
That's a great question. It's a question we should all be thinking about.
We're all part of this digital world.
We are.
And we need to be careful.
Absolutely. Just like in this case with LeBron and Covington.
There are real consequences.
Yeah, it's like we're all playing a game with our online personas.
That's a good way to put it.
Trying to control the narrative, you know?
Right.
And there are winners and losers, just like in any game.
So this whole thing with LeBron and Covington,
Yeah.
like a cautionary tale.
I agree. It shows the dangers of this new world.
Where athletes are brands, influencers, and media personalities all at once.
It does. And it underscores the importance of media literacy.
Media literacy.
Yeah, we need to be critical consumers of information.
Like discerning fact from fiction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And recognizing the motivations behind the stories.
So circling back to LeBron,
Yeah.
we still don't know why he's been silent.
It's a mystery.
Is he ignoring Covington, or is there more to it?
It's definitely odd considering how active he usually is.
Especially with all the social justice stuff.
Maybe he's taking the high road, refusing to engage. Or maybe he's waiting for the right moment to respond.
To control the narrative.
It's a test match, isn't it?
It is each player making their moves.
And we're just watching it unfold.
What about Diddy, though?
Diddy!
He's been pretty quiet, too.
He has. He's almost a casualty in all of this.
Yeah. His legal troubles are being used as ammunition.
We know he's facing charges from that nightclub thing
Right.
where he allegedly assaulted someone.
And there are separate accusations about financial stuff, too.
It's interesting that Covington focused on those specific charges, though.
The assault especially.
It feeds into this narrative of Diddy being above the law.
Someone who can get away with anything.
And Covington is trying to tie LeBron to that same narrative.
By association.
Exactly. Guilt by association.
It's a tactic used to discredit people and movements.
It is. We've seen it throughout history.
So Diddy's silence makes sense in a way.
It does. He's got enough problems as it is.
Engaging with Covington would just make things worse.
His legal team is probably telling him to stay quiet.
But his reputation is still at stake?
It is. And his future business ventures.
It's a reminder that even in these situations,
Yeah.
there's often collateral damage.
There is. It all comes back to critical thinking and media literacy.
Like, we can't just accept everything we see and hear.
Right. We need to question motives, consider different perspectives.
And be aware of manipulation.
We're all detectives in a way.
Trying to uncover the truth.
But even then, the truth can be hard to find.
So we have to keep questioning.
We do. Keep exploring and challenging ourselves.
To think critically about the world.
It's more important now than ever.
To slow down and think things through.
And be careful about what we believe.
So we've covered a lot.
We have.
This whole LeBron Covington saga.
Yeah.
But there's one question that keeps bugging me.
What's that?
What if LeBron did respond? What if LeBron actually responded to all of this?
That's an interesting thought.
We know he's not afraid to speak his mind, you know,
He's not.
especially when it comes to social justice,
Right.
but he's been totally silent.
It's strange, isn't it?
It feels like a piece of the puzzle is missing,
A big piece.
and that piece could change everything.
It could. So let's say LeBron IS online,
Yeah.
and he decides to respond. How do you think he'd do it?
Well, based on what we know about him,
Yeah.
he could come out swinging.
Swinging.
You know, a direct rebuttal,
I felt
shutting down the accusations point by point,
Maybe even turning the tables on Covington.
calling him out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Highlighting his inconsistencies.
That would be the classic LeBron move.
It would. Confident, maybe even a little angry.
His fans would love it.
They would. But there's a risk there, too.
There is.
Like, it could escalate things.
Give Covington more attention.
Exactly. And more oxygen to his claims.
So maybe not the best strategy.
Maybe not. What about a more measured approach?
Okay, yeah, like he addresses it calmly.
Without directly engaging Covington. Maybe he reaffirms his commitment to social justice,
Right.
expresses support for Diddy in a general way.
But doesn't get into the legal stuff.
Right. And maybe talks about the dangers of online misinformation.
Taking the high road.
It's a powerful move.
It is. It lets him control the narrative.
He becomes the voice of reason.
But there's always that third option.
It's that.
Strategic silence.
The silent treatment.
Yeah. He ignores Covington completely.
Denying him the attention he wants.
Like saying, your words don't matter.
It's a bold move.
But it's risky too.
How so?
Silence can be seen as guilt or weakness,
Especially online.
where everyone expects instant reactions.
It's a tough call.
So which strategy is best?
Who knows? It's fascinating to watch it play out.
It's like a game of chess.
It is, with high stakes.
Not just for LeBron and Covington.
But for anyone in the public eye,
It shows how every word, every action, every silence.
is analyzed and scrutinized.
So what have we learned from all of this?
What are the key takeaways?
Well, the biggest one for me
Yeah.
is the importance of media literacy.
Oh, absolutely. We can't believe everything we see and hear.
We need to be critical.
Question everything.
Think about the motivations behind the stories.
And be aware of the agendas.
It's like being a detective.
It is uncovering the truth.
But even then, the truth can be slippery.
It can, so we have to keep searching.
Keep asking questions.
Keep an open mind.
And be careful about what we believe.
Wise words. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have this LeBron Diddy Covington thing.
It's a wild one.
Who knows what will happen next?
Maybe LeBron will break his silence.
Maybe. If he does, you know where to find us.
We'll be here ready to dive back in
Until then, keep those questions coming.
and keep exploring those multiple perspectives.
That's what makes this so interesting.
It is. Until next time.
Sound the